I do think about him a lot. He was really kind and supportive and just really a loving guy.
That's all for this edition of Dateline. We'll see you again Thursday at 10, 9 Central. And of course, I'll see you each weeknight for NBC Nightly News. I'm Lester Holt. For all of us at NBC News, good night.
Live on NBC 12, this is News Watch 12 at 10.
Good evening, I'm Jessica Jukich. A new bill proposed by a GOP assemblyman would peel back restrictions on hound hunting and training during the spring throughout northern Wisconsin. But a longtime wildlife biologist says this may impact animals like deer, birds, and wolves. News Watch 12's Jake Force spoke to people on both sides of the issue and has more.
My dogs are well-mannered. I like to let them roam free through the forest, but I can't legally do that in the spring because of this law. So what I would like to do is make us equal to the rest of the state and repeal it back.
State Assemblyman Chance Green introduced a bill that would repeal restrictions on hound hunting and training during the spring. But longtime Wisconsin wildlife biologist Adrian Weideven argues that repealing this law will interrupt wildlife at a crucial time of year when species such as deer, elk, wolves, bears, and others are recently born.
It's a time of the year that typically we've not allowed the running of dogs, in part to help protect the young wildlife that's on the landscape.
Weideven also argued that the hunting dogs themselves could be harmed by peeling back the current law.
The dogs are going to be long distances from the hunters, and they can't control exactly everything the dogs are going to be doing. If you allow people to run their hounds in May and June, when wolves are protecting pups at their den sites, it's likely to increase the number of dogs that are being killed and injured by wolves.
But Representative Green says that for both wildlife and hounds, the law as it currently stands doesn't make the difference that advocates are looking for.
We love our dogs. I do not want to see them get hurt. And so we have to be aware, and it's something that we deal with all year round. 3 months out of the year will be no exception.
And Weideven has no problem with hound hunting, but says 3 months without it greatly benefits northern Wisconsin's ecosystem.
I used to have a dog myself, hunted grouse and woodcock and other wildlife with my dog, and loved doing it, but I only hunted at times when it was reasonable and it doesn't be stressful, and I'm not illegally killing wildlife.
Thank you, Jake. President Joe Biden was in Lewiston, Maine this afternoon to pay his respects to the 18 killed in last week's mass shooting. The president met with first responders in Maine and laid flowers at a local memorial site. Biden has been calling on Congress to pass a new assault weapons ban, universal background checks, and help states adopt and strengthen red flag laws. The president spoke to the community, addressing the fact that he and the First Lady have done too many of these similar events.
Because regardless of our politics, this is about protecting our freedom to go to a bowling alley, a restaurant, a school, a church, without being shot and killed.
The president ended by thanking first responders, doctors, and nurses who tended to those who were injured. 18 people were killed and 13 were injured in last week's shooting. The Biden administration has announced new funding to boost port infrastructure, including here in Wisconsin. $653 million will go towards 41 improvement projects. This includes $9 million for the Agricultural Maritime Export Facility in Milwaukee, after Senator Baldwin called for the funding in April. The project will construct 2 grain storage silos, make electrical service upgrades, and fund purchase of additional grain and cargo handling equipment to expand the capacity of the port to handle the movement of grain commodities. These efforts come in response to a supply chain crisis sparked by the coronavirus pandemic. Now, global container shipping costs are down more than 80% since 2020. UW Health is studying a potential treatment for Alzheimer's and is looking for participants in a clinical trial. Researchers are investigating whether the drug loprolide can be used to treat symptoms of Alzheimer's disease in women. The drug is approved to treat prostate cancer in men. They're currently looking to see if the drug can be used to slow the progression of Alzheimer's when combined with a current Alzheimer's drug. Dr. Craig Atwood is leading the Lucinda clinical trial at UW Health in Madison. He says the study is one of the more promising drug combinations to fight Alzheimer's.
We are hopeful that this drug combination will provide a disease-modifying treatment for Alzheimer's disease, and obviously that has important implications for the millions of individuals in the United States who are currently suffering from memory loss and Alzheimer's disease.
The study is open to women ages 65 and older who have been diagnosed with mild cognitive impairment or Alzheimer's disease. To register for the study, go to our website, wjfw.com. The Wisconsin DNR announced the results of a study of PFAS in private wells. PFAS are a group of man-made chemicals used for decades in products like nonstick cookware and stain-resistant sprays. The DNR used funding from the EPA to collect private well water samples from across the state. In total, 450 samples were collected, and most of those had PFAS concentrations below the current recommendations. The DNR's groundwater study shows roughly 7 in 10 private wells contain one or more PFAS, but only 1 in 100 contain PFAS above DHS's current health guidelines. The 2024 fall election is just 1 year away, and this weekend Wisconsin Senator Tammy Baldwin will be in north central Wisconsin. Baldwin's looking to win a third term in the Senate. A memo shows her campaign will focus on working families, championing her Made in America rules, and lowering the price of prescription drugs. Baldwin will be in southern Wisconsin. She was in southern Wisconsin today before attending a Wausau canvas kickoff tomorrow at 9 a.m. 2 little-known Republican candidates have filed to run against Baldwin so far, with many well-known GOP politicians opting not to run. The United Way of Portage County is getting a huge boost in funding. Century employees and the Century Insurance Foundation donated $1.325 million. The money will help the United Way with its programs that help the community. Century has contributed more than $21 million to the United Way of Portage County since 2000. A fire in Tomahawk has destroyed a restaurant and the upstairs apartments for some employees. Now the Tomahawk community are helping support those who were affected. Not only is Nacho's Mexican Grill a complete loss, so are many of the employees' homes above the restaurant. Nacho's posted to their Facebook saying the community's support has been much appreciated. Donations have included items such as clothing, food, and basic necessities.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I know the family appreciates this. I know that they're feeling your love.
The Chamber has received an outpouring of physical items and are now taking monetary donations that can be donated at multiple locations.
Gift cards, gift certificates, and chamber books. It can be for any of the area chambers and things like that.
To find out more on how you can donate, you can visit our website. The Supreme Court is reviewing a controversial ban. Coming up, we'll hear why they're considering a bump stock ban. That's after Weather with Jeff right here on Newswatch 12.
NBC Newswatch 12. News from where you live.
What do you do when your tire goes flat and there's no air anywhere to fix that? You reach for Bullseye Pro, the smarter, faster, hands-free way to fill it up with air. Bullseye Pro is equipped with a rechargeable lithium-ion power plant. So fast, so strong, and so convenient. It's like putting the power of an air compressor in the palm of your hand. Look, you can inflate all 4 tires of your car on a single charge, or inflate a bag full of soccer balls at practice. Bullseye Pro is so advanced, it has a built-in smart pressure digital sensor that gauges and automatically stops when the set tire pressure is reached. Plus, it can be 100% hands-free. You simply set the target pressure and walk away, keeping you out of harm's way. Bullseye Pro is lightweight, durable, and powerful enough to inflate this massive monster truck tire. Plus, it has 4 ultra-bright LED lights to safely inflate at night. Bullseye Pro comes with 3 custom air nozzles on board, so you can easily inflate pool toys, exercise balls, and more. Forget driving to the gas station. Bullseye Pro is your anywhere, anytime inflation station. Call or go online now and get the complete Bullseye Pro inflation system, all for the factory direct price of just $79.99. It comes with a 90-day money-back guarantee. Plus, we'll ship your entire order free. That's right, free shipping. But to really inflate this offer, we'll give you a 50% discount on a second one. You get it all. An incredible value for one low price. Call or go online to order now.
To order, call 1-800-771-1578 or go to getbullseyepro.com. So call 1-800-771-1578. That's 1-800-771-1578 or order online at getbullseyepro.com. Order now.
You're watching NBC 12 from where you live.
It's Friday night and the weekend's here, and look what we did today. High temperatures up near 50 here in Rhinelander, 53 for Tahlequah, 54 for Wausau. A very comfortable above average day today. We'll do it again tomorrow and probably for Sunday as well, followed by some cooler temperatures getting in here through much, if not all, of next week. Today, though, lots of sunshine, a bit of a breeze out there, too. That breeze will actually go calm for several hours tonight and come back tomorrow out of the southwest again, probably gusting near 15 to 20 throughout the afternoon. Okay, going forward, though, temperature-wise, so this is the story for a bit. 43 tomorrow, 44 for us on Sunday, 48 Monday. You get the idea. That's air ahead of a cold front, by the way, on Monday. It gets pushed out of the southwest. We get warmer temperatures briefly, and then the cold front comes through. Cooler temperatures for us on Tuesday, and then look at the slide begins, right? 38 for Wednesday, 37 Thursday, 33 a week from today is the forecasted high temperature. Here's a drought monitor where it's been dry across the U.S., of course, and this has been an ongoing thing, of course, for Wisconsin pretty much all summer long into fall. This is beginning to get better, though, with recent rainfalls across our region and some snow, but still levels 1, 2, and 3 drought conditions across parts of north central Wisconsin out there right now. No rain in this forecast anytime soon for us for today or tomorrow, but overall, this is what happened today, right? We got a big break in the clouds for several hours that wasn't really forecasted. We got some sunshine through that with high temperatures up near 50, but overall the clouds are out there across parts of the region. Lots of breaks in those clouds, though, for tonight. And then we'll get a break in the action for tomorrow into Sunday before our next weather system, this one over here, coming into California and Oregon and Washington now, that will likely bring us some rainfall late Monday into Tuesday, and another system getting in here probably Wednesday into Thursday of next week. And I pulled this up because I want to show you this, a sign of the time of the year, right? I'm going to run this through next Friday for future snowfall. We're going to miss 2 large systems to our north next week, but you get the idea. Once it begins to sag down this way, probably middle of next month or this month, you can get the idea as we'll be in the storm track then, and we could get some measurable snow again. Our forecast, though, tonight, there was lots of clear skies out there. It's a partly cloudy skies, low temperatures down near 22, with a calm wind after midnight. For tomorrow, lots of sunshine to then partly cloudy throughout the afternoon. High temperatures probably not as warm tomorrow. Highs back in the low to mid 40s with that gusty southwest wind. And then looking ahead, your 7-day forecast by Northwoods Furniture and Metro shows a pretty nice weekend. Of course, a time change tomorrow night. Monday, we get some showers in the area. Not an all-day rain. We're going to get wet, though. Tuesday, we're dry. And there's a messy system for Wednesday and Thursday with a rain-snow mix. Jessica?
Thank you, Jeff. The Supreme Court has agreed to consider a federal ban on bump stocks. Bump stocks are devices that allow semi-automatic rifles to be discharged more rapidly, meaning a shooter can potentially fire hundreds of bullets a minute. Federal appeals court have been split on whether a federal bump stock ban is legal, prompting President Biden to petition the Supreme Court to consider the ruling. At issue is whether bump stocks should be classified as machine guns under the National Firearms Act. The ATF qualified them as machine guns in 2018 and then banned bump stocks a year later. Challengers appealed the classification. 3 Lakes students are getting a glimpse at career opportunities. Coming up, we'll see how they're getting a first-hand look at emergency responder jobs.
NBC News Watch 12. News from where you live.
Moments of life are special, And suffering from diabetes should not get in the way. US Med's mission is to find ways to make your diabetes more manageable and more comfortable. You deserve to enjoy life without the constant reminder of living with diabetes. If you monitor with 4 or more tests per day, inject insulin 3 or more times per day, or use an insulin pump, you may qualify to receive a continuous glucose monitor, the latest in diabetes technology. A continuous glucose monitor provides blood sugar readings without uncomfortable finger sticks and alerts you real time to potentially harmful spikes in your blood sugar levels. US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 500 private insurance companies. If you're a caretaker for someone who suffers from diabetes or have diabetes yourself and meet these conditions, please call our diabetic specialist now to see if you qualify for your continuous glucose monitor.
If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. By wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers right away. If you're testing your blood sugar 4 more times per day, injecting insulin 3 or more times per day, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetic Health Hotline today and learn about the latest CGM technology. Not only can a CGM immediately reduce pain, it's accurate, easy to use, and helps you make better diabetes treatment decisions. And if you have Medicare, you can get a new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. We'll also provide free shipping of your new CGM, and we'll bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 4 more times per day and injecting insulin 3 or more times per day, or using an insulin pump, call now and learn how to receive your new continuous glucose monitor at little or no out-of-pocket cost.
Coming up on your Monday,
we'll be joined by Kate Heidemann for the final edition of Race Watch 12.
Sounds very exciting, and your full Weather Watch 12 forecast coming up on your Monday from 5 to 7 a.m. on News Watch 12.
Weather Watch 12 with Devin Biggs, 5 to 7 a.m.
Seeing a shortage of emergency responders, but today some Three Lakes High School students were able to see what the careers look like. The helicopter was on the field to raise awareness to students. Aspire's Medevac hosted a mock injury scenario at Three Lakes High School today. 6 EMT students at the high school through Nicolet College's program had the opportunity to experience up close what to do when a patient has been transported in the helicopter. Amy Larson is the Aspire's EMS outreach coordinator, and she says this type of training is crucial.
And even appropriately prepare for a landing zone or handing off to a flight crew is very, very important, because we want to make sure everybody stays safe and we get that patient the care they need as soon as they can.
This is the first time that a simulation like this has happened at Three Lakes High School. Amber Wilson is an EMS instructor for Nicolet College, and she says her students were engaged the whole time.
I mean, so with them going through this program at the high school level, even if they're outside of school at a school event, at least they'll have some training if an emergency does come up, that they'll be able to assist until the higher levels get there.
The main goal was to inspire the next generation to consider a career in EMS. Aspire's Medevac hopes to continue providing this type of simulation for different schools in the area. We'll have Friday Night Blitz after the break, but first, here's today's Big Old Fish.
Newswatch 12's Big Old Fish is brought to you by Kurt's Island Sports Shop in Minocqua.
We're going to need a bigger boat.
All right, what do you call a fish that won't shut up? Well, a big-mouthed bass, of course. All right, we're going to move along with this week's Big Old Fish. I'm going to start off with Brindley, who caught this healthy 32-inch northern while fishing off a dock. Well, 32 inches northern. Yeah, you know what I'm going to say, Brindley. That is one big old fish. Way to go. Keep on reeling them in. Next up on this week's Big Old Fish, we have Casey Congleton. Now, he caught this fat 13-inch crappie on a Vilas County lake using a jig. Well, again, 13 inches crappie. I don't think there's much else to say, Casey, other than that is one big old fish. Way to go. Keep on reeling them in. And finally on this week's Big Old Fish, we have Brian Congleton, who was also fishing on a Vilas County lake with a rattling rap when this stout largemouth smacked his line. Well, photo proof right there, Brian. That is one big old fish. Way to go. Keep on reeling them in. All right, fishermen and women, make sure to keep those trophy pictures coming.
All the information you need to be in a future episode of Big Old Fish and win a Norling Taxidermy fish mount is on our website, WJFW.com. And remember, anglers, fish on.
Weather Watch 12 with Devin Biggs, 5 to 7 a.m.
What if you could whiten your teeth by simply brushing your teeth? Now you can with Smile Actives, the teeth whitening breakthrough that safely gets your teeth white and keeps them white every day just by brushing your teeth.
I never thought that whitening my teeth could be so easy. I just put the gel on the brush, the toothpaste on it, brush, and I can see my white teeth.
Simply add Smile Actives to any toothpaste and our patented PolyClean technology activates into a powerful microfoam that penetrates into the enamel surface to safely lift and remove stains.
You need a simple way to whiten your teeth. Without strips, without trays, without going to the dentist. And it was about time that a product was developed that you would be able to do that with just brushing.
And now Smile Actives is even better with new Pro Whitening Gel with 33% greater whitening power, clinically shown to whiten teeth faster, up to 8 shades. 100% of users saw whiter teeth. On food stains, coffee and wine stains, even on veneers, crowns, and dentures.
I eat the blueberries, I drink the coffee, and I know that Smile Actives will keep my teeth white every day.
If you could use something so easy like Smile Actives to take yellow teeth to white teeth, why wouldn't you?
Why spend hundreds of dollars for whitening treatments at the dentist when now you can whiten your teeth with new Smile Actives Pro Whitening Gel every time you brush your teeth? Call or go to smileactives.com and for a limited time get new Pro Whitening Gel for just $24.95. Order in the next 5 minutes and buy one, get one absolutely free for just $24.95. That's 2 for 1 and save 58%. We'll even include free shipping. Get your teeth whiter guaranteed or return it within 60 days for your money back.
I smile every day now.
The difference is literally night and day.
So now I'm always smiling, always choosing, because now my teeth are much whiter.
This offer is not available in stores, so call or click now before the special buy one, get one free offer goes away.
When we hear that sound, the competition is on.
Wow, we certainly have a dramatic game ahead of us.
I'm taking a deep breath. I hope you are too.
Can you think quick enough?
It's very crazy.
And bet big enough?
12,400. Whoa, he's betting everything.
The stakes are high. The clock is ticking.
This is nerve-wracking.
Do you have what it takes for Jeopardy?
Jeopardy! Weekdays at 4:30 on NBC 12.
NBC News Watch 12. News from where you live.
Friday Night Blitz is brought to you by Rock Oil Refining Incorporated. Your Blitz starts now.
Good evening and welcome to the Friday Night Blitz. My name is Drew Shelley. Alongside me tonight is Will Harrelson. And Will, it was a very busy Friday in the world of Wisconsin high school sports.
Absolutely, Drew. Not only did we have plenty of teams competing in the Level 3 state tournament in football games, we also had 2 area teams in the Division 4 volleyball state semifinals.
Newman Catholic took on Prentice today in Green Bay, with the winner moving on to tomorrow morning's state championship game. News Watch 12 sports director Saul Meyer was in Green Bay and has the full story.
WIAA state tournament for volleyball is underway, and there are 2 teams still alive in our area in the hunt for a state championship. The only problem, they're playing each other. Newman Catholic and Prentice are facing off in the state semifinals for Division 4, 1 game away from a state championship berth. Prentice started this game out strong, taking an early lead in the first set. However, Newman Catholic settled in and mounted a comeback to win the first set 25-21.
It took us a little while for us to settle in. It's a different environment. You know, you can play in lots of different gyms, but nothing is like this. But boy, I tell you, once they settled in and they started running their offense the way that we could, you know, that took Prentice out of their game.
Then the Fighting Cardinals turned it on, winning the next 2 sets 25-10 and 25-15 to sweep Prentice and advance to the state title game.
breathe, believe, and ball out. That's what we have in our mind. It's really our positive mindset. We talk a lot about what our self-talk is, and we talk a lot about what our talent level is, and to believe in that.
Prentice was one game away from making the state championship, but they shouldn't hang their heads for falling short. Head coach Mike Murphy is still proud of his team for having the winningest season in school history.
When the hurt of this subsides, that's what we're going to remember the season on. And, I'm so proud of these girls. It's fantastic. There has not been a practice where they haven't given me 100%.
We'll see if the Fighting Cardinals can bring home yet another gold ball. Their first since 2016 tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. But for now, reporting here in Green Bay, I'm Saul Meyer, Newswatch 12.
An impressive victory by the Fighting Cardinals this morning as they move on to the D4 State Championship game.
Now we go from the volleyball court to the gridiron as level 3 of the Wisconsin State football playoff took place tonight as teams look to punch their ticket to the state semifinals.
Our marquee matchup of the week was the lone matchup that featured two teams in our area. And Will, you were at that one tonight.
Yes, I was, Drew. Stratford, the defending Division 6 state champions, were on the road tonight as they took on Auburndale. While Stratford has yet to give up points in the playoffs, Auburndale has had a battle through some close games to get to this point. So let's make our way all the way down to Auburndale to see how things played out. Here in the first quarter, Stratford with the ball on third down, and they hand it off to stud running back Kohler Tilty, and he plows over a defender for the first down. A few plays later, it's third down and long once again. Quarterback Jack Tubbs drops back and floats one for Colt Hitchie, and he hauls it in to set the Tigers up deep in Eagle territory. Now it's first and goal from the Auburndale 1, and they hand it off to Gavin Lodehart on the fullback dive, and he takes it in for the score and puts Stratford on the board first. Tigers would roll on this one as they run past Auburndale 40-7.
Wrightstown taking on Wittenberg-Burnhamwood at DC Everest tonight. We're going to start in the first quarter. After forcing a safety, Whitburn is going to go with the reverse on the kick return. Owen Dickman is going to make a man miss, and he is going to take this one back to the house. It gives the Chargers an early 9-0 lead.
How about that one?
Yeah, that was a good play right there. Good trick play, and it works. We go to the second quarter. Back come the Tigers. Peyton Vandehey goes right up the middle. He's in. It is a 9-7 game. This game, it turns quickly. They got to stop. Here's the next possession for Wrightstown. Vandehey again. He breaks through a crease. He is gone. Second touchdown of the quarter. Wrightstown, they would go on to win this one 41-17. We'll be right back after the break.
NBC Newswatch 12. News from where you live.
Moments of life are special, and suffering from diabetes should not get in the way. US Med's mission is to find ways to make your diabetes more manageable and more comfortable. You deserve to enjoy life without the constant reminder of living with diabetes. If you monitor with 4 or more tests per day, inject insulin 3 or more times per day, or use an insulin pump, you may qualify to receive a continuous glucose monitor, the latest in diabetes technology. A continuous glucose monitor provides blood sugar readings without uncomfortable finger sticks and alerts you real time to potentially harmful spikes in your blood sugar levels. US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 500 private insurance companies. If you're a caretaker for someone who suffers from diabetes or have diabetes yourself and meet these conditions, please call our diabetic specialist now to see if you qualify for your continuous glucose monitor.
If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. By wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers right away. If you're testing your blood sugar 4 more times per day, injecting insulin 3 or more times per day, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetic Health Hotline today and learn about the latest CGM technology. Not only can a CGM immediately reduce pain, it's accurate, easy to use, and helps you make better diabetes treatment decisions. And if you have Medicare, you can get a new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. We'll also provide free shipping of your new CGM, and we'll bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 4 more times per day and injecting insulin 3 or more times per day, or using an insulin pump, call now and learn how to receive your new continuous glucose monitor at little or no out-of-pocket cost.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. 2 milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kitchen now.
Happy kids heal faster. And that's why Starlight is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids across the U.S. Learn how at starlight.org.
Friday Night Blitz is brought to you by Rock Oil Refining Incorporated. Your blitz starts now.
Welcome back to the Friday Night Blitz. My name is Drew Shelley. That is Will Harrelson. Will, we just covered the 11-man games, but there was one 8-man game that we got to see tonight.
That's right. Unbeaten Florence, fresh off of a win against Three Lakes, took on Oakfield with a spot in the state championship on the line.
Here we go. Florence and Oakfield, a spot in the state championship game. Who's going to claim it? We start in the first quarter. Logan Scholl's going to keep it on the read option, and he is going to absolutely lower the boom on a defender here, and he's going to take this one deep into enemy territory. Later that drive, same play. Scholl's going to keep it on the read option. He dives into the end zone. The Bobcats score first, and they led 8-0. Now in the fourth quarter, they continue to lead. This play was the icing on the cake for Florence. William Kelly did a big game last week against Three Lakes. He did it again tonight on the keeper. He is gone. That's a house call. Florence takes this one 40-12. They are going to the state championship game. And another WIA action tonight. It finally happened, Will. Edgar, they gave up points for the first time since the 25th of August. They gave up a point. That being said, boy, did they have plenty of offense to make up for it. They took down Boyceville tonight by a final score of 52-26. This win marks 10 in a row for Edgar. They dropped their first game of the year to Ellsworth. Next up for Edgar will be Bangor in the Division 7 semifinals next Friday night. Winner of that game off to the D7 state championship.
The Milwaukee Bucks were in action tonight as they took on the New York Knicks in the inaugural NBA in-season tournament. Damian Lillard stole the show for Milwaukee with 30 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists. Giannis also had a solid game as well, scoring 22 points to go along with 8 rebounds and 6 assists. The Bucks now move to 3-2 on the season and will be back in action on Monday when they take on the Brooklyn Nets.
After a month on the road, the Wisconsin Wendigo were back on their home ice in Eagle River tonight as they took on the Chippewa Steel. Game was tied at the end of the second period, but the Wendigo got third period goals from Jacob Jastrzemski and Logan Nicholas as they went on to win 3-1. The Wendigo now move to 8-7-2 on the season. The two teams will be right back at it tomorrow night as the Wendigo host the Steel once again at the Eagle River Sports Arena. Well, Will, another week of high school playoffs in the books. We have one team off to a state championship, 2 more teams in state semifinals.
That's right, Drew. Florence remains unbeaten, and Stratford and Edgar were both impressive on the road tonight.
You know, plenty of other stuff going on we couldn't get to. The Wisconsin Badgers hockey team, big win tonight on the road against the University of Michigan. They're playing real well right now.
They're playing fantastic hockey. Mike Hastings coming into Madison and just turning around this hockey program within 1 year.
Yeah, wins versus Minnesota, wins versus Michigan, and that's going to do it for the Friday Night Blitz. For Will Harrelson, I am Drew Shelley. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next Friday night.
What do you do when your tire goes flat and there's no air anywhere to fix that? You reach for Bullseye Pro, the smarter, faster, hands-free way to fill it up with air. Bullseye Pro is equipped with a rechargeable lithium-ion power plant. So fast, so strong, and so convenient. It's like putting the power of an air compressor in the palm of your hand. Look, you can inflate all 4 tires of your car on a single charge, or inflate a bag full of soccer balls at practice. Bullseye Pro is so advanced, it has a built-in smart pressure digital sensor that gauges and automatically stops when the set tire pressure is reached. Plus, it can be 100% hands-free. You simply set the target pressure and walk away, keeping you out of harm's way. Bullseye Pro is lightweight, durable, and powerful enough to inflate this massive monster truck tire. Plus, it has 4 ultra-bright LED lights to safely inflate at night. Bullseye Pro comes with 3 custom air nozzles on board, so you can easily inflate pool toys, exercise balls, and more. Forget driving to the gas station. Bullseye Pro is your anywhere, anytime inflation station. Call or go online now and get the complete Bullseye Pro inflation system, all for the factory direct price of just $79.99. It comes with a 90-day money-back guarantee. Plus, we'll ship your entire order free. That's right, free shipping. But to really inflate this offer, we'll give you a 50% discount on a second one. You get it all. An incredible value for one low price. Call or go online to order now.
To order, call 1-800-771-1578 or go to getbullseyepro.com. So call 1-800-771-1578. That's 1-800-771-1578 or order online at getbullseye.